There's a device that I've been using called a Whoop.
Hello, and welcome back to IGOW2. This is field reporter Ashley, here to talk about weekly challenge number 10, the Happymodel FPV Geek speed loops. This week will be the first week where we use an IGOW approved gate. An IGOW approved gate is something that has sides no larger than 27 inches when square, or fits inside of a gate that is 27 inches square. You don't have to go out and buy a tiny Whoop Cube gate though. You can also make your own with pool noodles like this one right here. Or you could even use a tire. Alright, so now let's throw back to Dan and Liz in the studio for them to explain the details of this week's challenge.
Thanks, field reporter Ashley. This week's challenge will be another one where you're going to get a score based on the number of tricks you complete in the allotted time, and then you'll be ranked based on that score.
And just like before, the top 50% of players will be moving on without a letter, while the bottom 50% of players will be unfortunately receiving one.
You hate to see it.
If we wind up with a tie, the tie will be broken based on the speed it took to finish the tricks.
For weekly challenge number 10, one of the featured sponsors is Happymodel. We already know that they're providing a Mobula 6 HD as one of the grand prize options. And for this week, the random giveaway prize will be a set of 4 0805 brushless motors.
Our other featured sponsor this week is the FPV Geek. And they've generously provided us with their product, the JAS, also known as Just a Switch.
Alright, so now let's jump into the requirements for weekly challenge number 10, the Happymodel FPV Geek Speed Loops. Requirement number 0 is that your video is a maximum of 90 seconds long and you include your pilot name somewhere in your submission.
Requirement number 1 is that you use an IGOW approved Whoop, which was introduced to us at the beginning of the video by field reporter Ashley. As a reminder, an IGOW approved gate has an inner diameter of no more than 27 inches. So if it's a square gate, that means 27 by 27. If it is a round gate, then it fits inside of a 27 by 27 gate.
Requirement number 2 is that you complete as many power loops as possible in 30 seconds with the IGOW approved gate at the bottom of your loops. So if this is your Whoop and this is the gate, you put it somewhere towards the bottom and you're going to fly through it to start the time and then do a power loop and then pass through it again. That will be 1 loop. Then you do another power loop, pass through the gate again, 2 loops, and so on as many times as you can before the 30-second timer runs out.
Requirement number 3 is that you must complete as many power loops as you can in 30 seconds with the gate at the top of your power loop. So that means you're going to do a power loop, and then at the top of your loop, you're going to go through the gate, and that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and so forth. Going through it with it at the top of your loop is going to be a little more difficult because you're going to throw yourself backwards, not knowing exactly where the gate is at. So I would advise practicing that one quite a bit.
And your final score will be the sum of the number of loops you do with the gate at the bottom and the number of loops you do with the gate at the top.
Be careful when you're doing your power loops. This time around, we're okay with gate bumps, but if you have any ground taps, it will invalidate that power loop.
Yep. And you're allowed to have 2 separate clips for requirements number 2 and 3, and also you're allowed to have the gate set at any height for those requirements. It doesn't matter as long as you pass through the gate at the bottom for requirement number 2, and you pass through the gate at the top going backwards and upside down for requirement number 3. Hello, field reporter Dan here to help show you how to count your loops for requirements number 2 and 3, because it's a little bit different. So For requirement number 2, the gate on the ground, you're going to start, and your time will start as you first pass through the gate when you're timing, and then you do a power loop back, and then you get a count of 1 when you pass through after doing the loop. Then if you go and do another loop, obviously 2, 3, etc. If you get a little squirrely and you go over here, and instead of looping around, you want to come back this way, that's fine, but then you just have to pass through again, boom, to get another count going. For requirement number 3, you have the gate at the top of the loop. So you're going to pass under, and then while you're going backwards and upside down, you want to pass through the gate and then come back around. So how the counting and timing works for this, on your first loop, the first one you complete, you're going to go under, and then as you go through and as you pass through the gate, that's going to count 1 and start your time. So as long as you make it through and you recover and you attempt another loop, that loop counts that you're going through. If you just loop through and you immediately smash into the ground, that loop won't count. You have to attempt again. But let's say you go through, you get 1, go through again, 2, and then on your third time you hit and then you fall down, you still get the count for number 2 because you attempted a third loop. All right, so get out there, see how many loops you can do. Good luck and happy whooping.
Prop damage. Prop damage. Prop damage. Prop damage.
What a blow, now it shows. Heading to the last place. Your flying is not too slow. Forget about the drone race. Let's do a retake, shaking like a bad break. Fly some, cry some, free fly foe some. Talk about prop damage. Talk about prop damage. I need a recharge gate. Everybody needs it. Recharge gate. Recharge gate.
Prop damage. Prop damage. Prop damage. Prop damage. Shake it out of bounce, prop, show up. Shake it out of bounce, prop, show up.
Being pie, fly, canvas, Kobe. Everybody talk about prop damage. Talk about prop damage. Talk about prop damage.